Hello everyone, welcome to the video. As the title and the thumbnail says, I went out to Amazon and I purchased the cheapest webcams that money can buy. In fact, you're actually looking at me on a webcam right now, but this is going to be our comparison webcam, which we'll use for the reference point. So this is a Logitech C920, which is a pretty high-end webcam. It's quite old now, I think it's been replaced by a newer model, but still it's a 1080p webcam with a pretty decent quality. And in fact, we're going to be testing both the video and the audio out of all of these webcams that we are looking at today. So with that being said, let's get on and have a look at our first webcam, which, as you can see here, comes in some sort of suspicious looking bag. This is literally all of the packaging that it came with. And as you can see, it doesn't actually say anything as to what the model is. There is this QR code here, which I did try to scan with my phone to see if anything would come up, but it didn't. The only information we have is the Amazon site where I purchased it from. So this is the Lorenli 8 million pixel mini webcam HD web computer camera with microphone for desktop, laptop, USB plug and play for video calls. And this is the cheapest webcam that we are looking at today because it cost me 59 cents. And that is 59 cents to a euro. So I think in dollar terms, it's probably a bit more like 70 or 80 cents. I don't know what the conversion rate is exactly. There is a bit of a catch to that, which is that I have to pay 8 euros for shipping. So I guess it's a bit of a clickbait title to call it 59 cents, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'm gonna open it up here and we're gonna take a look at the hardware. So, as you can see here, tiny little thing. Straight off the bat, I can see that it's a very cheap sort of plastic construction, but then again, what would you expect for 59 cents? Something that might actually be a cool feature, I guess, or at least it is a feature, is that it seems to have this retractable cable, so you can pull it out, extend it, and then it sort of locks into place at the length that you set it up for. And then once you're done, you just give it a little pull, and then it will retract back into itself, which is actually kind of a nice feature, and it makes the whole thing a bit more portable. So if we take a closer look at the lens, we can see that it says 8 megapixel PC camera USB 2.0, and that's pretty much it. And then the other thing is that in order to attach it to something, you need to be able to clip it on. So I guess if you have a monitor or a screen, you could maybe clip this onto the frame or to the bezel, and then it can just sit there and you can do all of your video conferencing and whatever else you want to use this thing for. But yeah, very cheap, but I mean, again, for the money, I guess you can't expect much more than what we are getting right here. So we're going to hook this up in a moment, but first we're also going to have a look at another webcam, which cost slightly more, not much more, but more anyway. And I'm also going to check the Amazon website for this. So this is the KK Moon webcam HD camera, apparently 50 megapixels. I don't know if we can trust that number, probably not. Also USB 2.0 with a microphone for PC or laptop. So this one actually did come in a box, so that is already a bit of a plus. Feels like a more luxurious product. But then again, this was 9 euros. On the other hand, I didn't have to pay anything for delivery. So we're going to open this up, see what is inside. Comes in some bubble wrap, just to keep it nice and protected from anything that might happen during transportation. And here is the camera. Again, of course, you know, very plastic and does feel pretty cheap, but it doesn't look too bad, and it does look to be a little bit more substantial than the Lorenli that is over here. So if we look at the lens, again, it says web camera, and it says, is that saying f2.0? Could that be? Or is it f4 at 8 millimeters? I don't know if this is varifocal. I'm gonna guess it's not. It's probably just a fixed focus. Something odd that I've just noticed here, which looks a bit nasty. I'm gonna try and crop in post-production and maybe show you guys. This hole, which is presumably for the microphone or something else, I don't know, but it seems to have some residue on it, or perhaps that's just from, yeah, it was just some dust or some residue that was on there, which I guess they just drilled a hole in this after the fact and left the dust there. So that's really nice. This one does not have a retractable cable, but it does have a 3.5mm microphone jack, which means that this has audio, and that also means that perhaps this one here, the Lorenly, does not have audio, which kind of makes it not very useful for any kind of video conferencing, unless you have another microphone, of course. And this one seems to have an adjustable little ball and socket, so you can move the camera around, and it also has a clip quite similar to the Lorenly, but again, it looks a little bit more adjustable, more ways for you to change the positioning of the camera. You can also see here from manufacturing that this plastic here is just sort of, I don't know, sticking out. You know, it's a cheap product, you get what you pay for, but ultimately all that matters is how good these webcams actually perform when you plug them in. That's something I forgot to say when I started making this video. The reason I'm doing this in the first place is because ever since the whole lockdown and everybody is working from home and doing video conferencing, there have been some shortages in webcams, at least the mainstream ones. So a lot of the, the Logitech webcams have been out of stock on a lot of places, and I figured this could be a way to see if there are viable alternative options out there from manufacturers that you haven't necessarily heard of. Plus, the Logitech webcams do cost in excess of, $30, $40, $50. Maybe you don't want to be spending that much, and in that case, of course, you have to go for something cheaper. So we're gonna check out how these things stack up. So that's the hardware overview. If you give me a second, I'm just gonna hook these up, and then we're gonna try to compare it to what you're looking at right now, which is the Logitech C920. Before I do that, I'm also gonna give you a bit of an audio test on the Logitech C920. So this is what it sounds like. Obviously, it's really unfair to try and compare it to my big microphone over here. You can definitely hear a lot more ambient noise, and my voice is more muddy and not as clear, but it's a tiny little microphone built into a webcam, so what do you expect? So yeah, I'm gonna hook these up and I will be right back. Okay, and we're back. I couldn't quite get the mounting to be exactly the same as the other webcam because this weird little clip thing just kept sliding off my monitor. So I think it is designed for some sort of laptop that doesn't have a built-in webcam or something. But this is the audio quality, so this is what it looks like. Make of it what you will. The frame rate looks okay. The image, though, that's another topic. Also, it seems to be very zoomed in. So this is what you're gonna get. You don't want to be too close to this, otherwise you're just gonna end up looking at my nostrils. And I presume also there's no audio with this, but I will check afterwards in post-production, and if there is audio, then that is what you're hearing right now. It works. It looks worse, which is I guess what we would expect, but it all comes down to how the other one is going to look, because they are, after shipping prices and everything, roughly the same price. So we're going to hook that one up now and we're going to test it out. So I will be back with you in just a second. Alright, hello, welcome back, and this is now the KK Moon webcam. Right off the bat, I see a few differences. Number one, the mounting mechanism is much better, so I was actually able to get it on top of my monitor, similar to the Logitech webcam. Also, it seems to be not quite as zoomed in as the Lorenly, but it is still quite a bit more zoomed in than the Logitech. Also, I seem to be very yellow, but that's not necessarily worse because the other one was very pink. And also the frame rate seems to be not amazing. Definitely some motion blur going on there. So it's actually kind of hard to see which one is better. I guess it's going to come down to the audio, whether or not it's actually recording any audio right now. I do have it plugged into the mic in on my PC, so we'll see what happens there. But for reference, I'm now going to switch back again to the Logitech, just so we can see what it looks like if you buy a more expensive webcam from a reputable brand. Hello, and we're back again with the Logitech webcam. So clearly superior, I would assume, in every single way, which is probably what you would expect considering the price difference between all of these webcams. So I'm sorry for wasting your time. You haven't really learned anything new here, except that you should probably go ahead and get one of the Logitech or one of the better webcams if you are able to do so. However, if you can't, if there are no other options available, at some point you might be better off just using the selfie camera on your smartphone and doing video conferencing through that instead, because these webcams really do look like they're from the early to mid 2000s as opposed to 2020, which is where we are now. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you found this useful. Let me know if you like this type of video. If I get good feedback on it, then this could become sort of a running series where I go out onto these websites like Amazon and Wish and AliExpress, and I could buy some of the cheapest products that you can buy and see if they perform well enough to get the job done, or if you should really go ahead and just spend the extra money to get a good quality product. Also, please don't forget to leave a like. I put a lot of effort into this weird sort of MacGyver system. I don't know if you can see, but I have a camera mounted up there on this what is ultimately like a green screen holder, and it's currently facing down at the table. It was quite a fun little project to set that up, and I think it worked out pretty nicely. So I might do that again in future with maybe some product reviews or unboxings, or who knows what comes. I'm just rambling now, so I'm gonna let you go. So hit the like button, maybe consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.